Hey there, adventurers! Welcome back to WarGames News Radio for the start of a brand new campaign playing the Elder Scrolls Call to Arms by Modiphius Entertainment. Now, this is a continuation of our Skyrim Sundays series here on the channel, and technically the third chapter in this rolling campaign featuring our hero, the Dragonborn, and their band of adventuring followers. In our first chapter, we escaped from Helgen, visited the Standing Stones, and even defended the town of Riverwood from some marauding bandits, and in Chapter 2, we delved deep into Bleak Falls Barrow to rescue the Golden Claw from the clutches of some evil Draugr. But which direction we went for this newest campaign was left up to you, the viewers, and by a resounding landslide vote, you've decided that it's time for our Dragonborn to start marching up the 7,000 steps to visit the Greybeards in High Hrothgar. This campaign will be at least 3 episodes long, and I'm aiming to have videos coming out on the first Sunday of every month. We've got all kinds of new adversaries and scenarios planned for you folks to enjoy, and you'll also be able to influence the direction of this campaign by voting on the battle MVP at the end of each episode. So once you're done watching this one, let me know which one of our heroes you think outshone the rest, and that unit will get an extra special buff going into the next scenario. With some new loot and a dragon shout from the last campaign, it's time for our Dragonborn to begin their quest once again. So let's get into the action on Journey to High Hrothgar Part 1, On the Run. Let's hit it. And we've got our Dragonborn here on the left and Imperial Spellsword Mage who are headed up towards the mountain pass on their way up to High Hrothgar when they've encountered a bit of a battle between a group of Stormcloaks and Imperial soldiers. Our adventurers will start on the leftmost side of the map, and it's going to be up to us to make it all the way across the battlefield onto the right-hand side and exit the map within 6 turns. Stormcloaks will spawn from the backside of the map here and work their way in towards the center, and the Imperials will do the same thing, but on this closest board edge. The game will also begin with the Blizzard rules in effect, and at the start of the game, I will roll a die to see how much the Blizzard is affecting all of our units' line of sight. For the adversaries, the Stormcloaks and Imperials will treat each other as hostile, as well as, of course, my group of adventurers here with the swirling snow, and in the heat of battle, nobody really cares who's attacking who. And as if dealing with these 2 factions wasn't enough for our adventurers, there's also a chance that a cave bear will show up in this battle, and it will again attack the closest adversary. There are 4 treasure tokens as well as 3 objectives scattered across the back half of the board here, so we can interact with those to try to get some more goods, as well as get some victory points to level up our crew. And speaking of our crew, let's take a look at our roster. Here we've got the Dragonborn fresh off our last campaign. They've got their iron sword, wooden shield, and hide armor, as well as the ring of fortified armor that we picked up in that last campaign. And after defeating the Dragon Priest, we also now have our Unrelenting Force shout, which we can use to try to shout down some of these enemies. And returning from the last campaign is the Imperial Spellsword Mage. She's got her Steel Dagger, Flames Attack, and Imperial Light Armor. And because we completed the Destruction Ritual quest last campaign, we're also going to take the Lightning Bolt spell for free. We can take an extra destruction spell up to 12 septims for free, so I'm going to try some lightning. That's fun. It's a ranged attack. It's got a little bit more reach than the flames, so that will be kind of fun to maybe hopefully deal some electrifying damage. We've got a long ways to go and a short time to get there, so let's get into the action. Okay, top of round 1, we've got our 3 Imperials here, and then our Stormcloaks on the opposite side, one hiding behind that tree, and then we've got our 2 adventurers here on the far side of the board. So here we need to roll a skill die, and depending on what we get, will affect our line of sight. So on a critical, it'll be 12-inch line of sight, 2 to 10 normal line of sight, and a crit fail will be a line of sight of 8. So let's see what we get. First round, normal line of sight. First things first, I'm going to activate the Dragonborn. I'm going to move my 6 inches to just be hanging up behind this tree. I'm going to start things off by being a little bit sneaky. So I'm going to spend my second activation and hide. I've got nobody in line of sight, so I can just hide behind this tree and wait and see what these 2 sides are going to do to each other. Stormcloak in the middle of the pack activates first for the adversaries and moves up to protect the objective. Back to my side, and it's only the mage left to go. I'm going to move her 6 inches as well. Now, she actually doesn't have the sneak ability, so she can't hide, so she's just going to try to duck behind the Dragonborn there and do her best to stay out of the way. And final activation of the round, we got the other Stormcloak here, who's going to move his 6 inches and just hang out there. An action-packed round 1. Just kidding, absolutely nothing happened. But that is going to bring it to the end of the round, so we now have to draw for an event card. So let's see what we get. Hunter and Hunted. Place 3 NPC tokens as close to the center of the board as possible, but no closer than 6 inches to each other. These are trapped hunters. They may not be interacted with by any model that is not in my party, so the enemies here won't be able to do anything with them. Reward 1 victory point per hunter rescued. Well, would you look at that? That's going to do it, bringing in 3 civilians, and of course, with 1 spawn and only 1 adversary left to go, which is the cave bear, they're going to appear at the backside of the board there. So things just got a lot more interested. Looked like our bear is coming in to try to get a quick meal out of some settlers in the middle of this camp. Let's get into round 2. Things just got a lot more interesting. We've got our 3 hunters here, are our civilians who are in the middle of the board, and we've got our nasty old cave bear who spawned here on the right hand side. But it's up to the baddies to have their first activations here, so let's see which one of our 7 now adversaries goes first. First up, one of the Imperial soldiers cautiously moves up and protects the objective. Back to my side, and it's time for the Dragonborn to do their thing, and because they're just ever so friendly, they're gonna go and try to help out this settler here. Now I'm gonna stay hidden, I think, stay stealthy for the time being, move my 6 inches there. Then I'm going to use my second action to throw up a block, and then next time around I'll be able to go and help out the settler. Next up is the center Stormcloak again, who's going to activate, and they're feeling a little bit brave, I guess, so they're going to take 1 move and attack into the cave bear. Okay, Stormcloak attacking the cave bear, hitting on 4s, just 1 black for their greatsword. That is a swing and a miss. Or is it a miss? Because that Dragonborn helmet there is actually going to add a green die to the dice pool, which brings it to a -2, which brings it down, so that is a hit. That's a hit for 1 damage. Now the cave bear has no armor rating, so they're just gonna take that 1 point directly through. Well, okay, the cave bear is down to just 2 hit points. That might actually work out pretty well for that Stormcloak, but it's gonna come back to my side now, and it's time for the mage to get into the action. The Dragonborn might be sneaking around, but the Imperial Mage says, you know what, I'm gonna get into the action. So she's gonna move her 6 inches, which is gonna bring her well within range for her lightning attack in on this Imperial. Now the Mage is gonna go at a whole heck of a lot of dice for this one. The lightning attack gives 2 yellows and a green. Because of her destruction and mastery ability, she's going to get an extra green on this one. So let's see what we can do. Hitting on 4s. That is a hit for, unfortunately, just 1 damage. 1 damage on a yellow armor rating. Oh, wow, she heads through. So that's actually going to go ahead and sizzling fry up this Imperial just like that. With all of our standard adversaries gone, it's time for the cave bear to get their free action. So they're gonna go ahead and try to take a bite out of this Stormcloak here. Green and red for their bear claw attack, and an extra yellow because I'm gonna go ahead and boost it, try to take this Stormcloak down, hitting on a 6. That is a critical hit, dealing an extra black die of damage. That is 5 damage. 5 damage on the Stormcloak's yellow armor rating. Not a chance that they can stop it. Just quick chomp, and they're out of there. And that's gonna do it for the round, meaning it's time for us to draw a new event card. So let's see what we get here from the top of the pile. Open ground. To choose one of your models. That model adds 2 inches to its basic movement allowance across open terrain until the end of its next activation. You know, normally this is something that I would probably give to the Dragonborn because they're my biggest, baddest unit, but I'm actually gonna give that extra boost to the mage there. We also now have to spawn, well, it's supposed to spawn 3 enemies from this card. We only have 2 in the pool, and that's 1 Imperial and 1 Stormcloak. So we'll get each of those back into the mix and get into the next round. Stormcloaks and Imperials and Cave Bears, oh my, this video is getting wild, and we'll be back with the conclusion in just a moment. But if you're enjoying this video, then hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure you turn on the notifications so you don't miss new tabletop content coming from us every single week. And if you really like what we're doing here on the channel, then consider heading on over to our Patreon page, where for as little as $3 a month, you can help support the channel so we can make more videos more often for you to enjoy. You also get some kickbacks like double entry into future WGNR giveaways, access to polls which help drive the direction of content here on the channel, and you can even become a named character in a future battle report or video just like this one. So check out the link in the description to our Patreon or our merch store if you want to pick up some swag to help support the channel and look good doing it. But that's enough for all the shameless self-promotion. Let's get back into the action on the Run. Okay, top of round 3, we've got another Imperial spawn to the closest edge here, another Stormcloak up there with his buddy, and it's now advantage back to my side again. So first things last, I'm going to move the Dragonborn less than their regular movement to get them right about there, and then spend a aid action to remove this civilian, gaining 1 victory point. Now that puts me just within 3 inches of this objective here, so we get to now reveal what that is. Strategic objective. Okay, so if we hang out close to that one, we could get some extra victory points out of the deal. Not a bad plan. The freshly spawned Stormcloak is going to move their boosted 9-inch move to about there. They can't do anything else really, so they'll just ready in action. Well, back to my side, and it's Mage Town once again, and I think I'm just gonna try to repeat what I did and just refry this dude once more. That's gonna be the same attack, but instead of rolling the dice, I'm actually gonna use my Imperial Luck, meaning it's going to auto hit. So I'm just gonna roll all of these dice here and see what in the heck happens. That's 3 damage on my Lightning Strike, not too shabby. 3 damage on, what is it, Red Armor. Let's see if he can save enough. He definitely cannot. So that's another victory point for me and another zap Imperial Soldier down. With my second action, I'm going to boost move, and I've got way more than enough now that I have that super high movement range thanks to the event from last round, and reveal this chest and see what we get. Free item draw. So let's go ahead and draw from our treasure deck and see what our mage is dealing with. Scroll of Fear. Okay, we had this once before. Discard this card as a special action. Target one enemy within 8 inches. Target model and all enemies within 3 inches of it must make a morale check. Oh, I could spend that free action right now before my turn is over and see if I can't dispel them from the board as well. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I do. Now, so a morale check is on the wisdom, and the Imperial soldiers have a wisdom of 4. So let's see if we can banish this bad boy from the board before they have a chance to do much, if anything at all. That's a fail of a 5, so that's going to poof, run away after seeing their companion here get electrostatically shocked. Nice work, Mrs. Mage. This for this Stormcloak here. So they're gonna go ahead and move their boosted move to jimmy up right next to their buddy here, getting ready to attack next time around. End of round 3, and we're going to score a couple of victory points, 2 of them in fact, for controlling that objective there in the center of the board, and we gained a couple more from evaporating some more of our baddies there. But that's going to mean, first and foremost, that our Cave Bear gets to attack, and they're going to do the exact same attack that they did last time into another Stormcloak here. So they're going to boost it with the stamina for an extra yellow. Cave Bear attack is green and red, hitting on a 6. That is a hit. Big old hit for 2 damage. 2 damage, an armor rating of yellow. Stops 1, takes 1. That is another Stormcloak down. Then they're going to be a bold and beautiful bear and charge right into both of those bad boys for next time. Things are not looking great for the Stormcloaks, but it's time to draw for our event card. So for the next round, we got evasive maneuvers. You may choose one of your models engage with an enemy and move them 3 inches. None of our models are engaged with an enemy, so we're not going to be able to use that card. No effect, but it is going to spawn in 1 more baddie. So let's get them placed and head in to round 4. We got to make up some ground and get across this board as quick as we can. Top of the round, and the enemies have the advantage, and it's this lone Imperial here who got the activation. So they're going to move a boosted move 9 inches to get into close range here with our spell sword, and then throw up a block to finish up their turn. Well, seeing as there's no other adversaries on this side of the board and I've got some ground to make up, I'm just gonna go ahead and go for the gusto, make a boosted move with the mage here to go there 9 inches, end in base-to-base contact with this objective and see what we get. Another strategic objective. So I guess we're gonna get another couple of victory points, letting us level up at the end of the round if we can hold on to that one, but it's gonna go back to the adversary side first. And with only Stormcloaks left to go, we got this furthest one here who's in contact with the bear. So they're gonna go ahead and make an attack in on the beast itself. So they're getting a black die for their attack, a green for outnumbering, and an extra yellow for a stamina boosted attack, hitting on 4s. That is a swing and a miss. And time for the Dragonborn to do their thing. I've got all these tokens, I'm hidden, I'm blocked, I'm prepared. I haven't used any of them. I'm just gonna go for the gusto and I'm gonna run for the hills. I'm gonna move most of a boosted move here to get in contact with this settler here. Go ahead and once again spend an extra action for the 8 action to remove them from play, giving me an extra victory point, and that's going to bring it to the end of my turn and the end of the round, except for the bear, who's going to have to go in and have an attack. So I'm going to go ahead and say that they're going to make an attack in on the Stormcloak, which attacked them, and see if they can't return the favor. So it's going to be, again, that bear attack, hitting on 6s. That is a hit for all the damage in the known universe, more than enough to take that Stormcloak right out. They can't do anything else with their action, but they're still up close and personal with another Stormcloak there. Getting into round 5, we've got to get moving, and I think we're going to make it out of this game sooner than later, but we might be able to get some treasure or some objectives out of the deal. We are going to get another 2 points from our strategic objective there. Maybe we can outrun all of these baddies and not take a single point of damage in this game. Well, let's see what happens. Time to draw an event for this round. We got Divine Inspiration. Choose one of your models. That model may re-roll any number of dice from its skill or attribute test. I'm going to give this to the Dragonborn, as always. I think I'll be able to get them doing some damage with that chest next time. We also now need to spawn 2 more baddies, so let's get those into play. Okay, top of round 5, we've got another Imperial here at the back. We've got another Stormcloak way on the far side there. It is my turn to have advantage again, and I'm going to make a break for it with the Mage. But first things last, I'm going to try to zap Electric Fry this idiot here on the corner. I've got more than enough with a boosted move to just barely get across the threshold of the map there, but let's see if I can't do some damage on my way out with this Mage. So, grabbing my dice here, we've got a big old pool. This is going to tap my Magicka, if I'm doing my math correctly. Hitting on a 4. That is a critical fail, no dice. But you know what? That's okay. We were just trying to add insult to injury. Anyway, we're going to make the run for it, end up just across the board, and the Mage is out of there. Adversary's activation, and it's actually going to be this Imperial Soldier here who's going to try to make a charge into the Dragonborn and make an attack. Imperial Soldier, boosted attack, 2 green and a red, hitting on 3s. That is a hit for 2 damage. 2 damage at my armor rating of 2 yellows. Stops more than enough. That is going to bring it to my turn now, and with this guy so close, I don't really like how close they are, but you know what? I'm going to ignore them, make a move to this chest, and see what we got. Free item. Let's make a draw from our treasure deck and see what we got. Potion of Plentiful Healing. 1 use, free action, restore a black die worth of health points. Not bad. We're going to hang on to that. Don't think we'll have a use for it in this scenario, but maybe it'll come in handy in our next mission. Adversary's final activation, and it's going to be time for this Stormcloak here. They're going to take a boosted attack into the big bad bear. Stormcloak Soldier hitting on 4s. That is a hit for 4 damage. Oh my goodness, 4 damage. The bear has no armor rating. That cave bear is down with 1 big bad swoop from that great sword. I guess a little bit of revenge had to be dealt out to this creature here after taking out so many Stormcloaks, but that's gonna do it for the round, meaning it's time to draw an event for what's probably going to be the last round of this battle, and that is Secret Paths. Oh, nice. Choose 1 friendly model that isn't staggered or incapacitated. That model may immediately move up to 6 inches, ignoring terrain and other models. Yeah, I'm no mathematician, but 6 inches is more than enough to get us across the board. With a very lucky event card draw, we have snuck our way across the table. With that, the Dragonborn and the Mage were able to live up to the name of this scenario, and on the run they were. Getting through without taking a single hit point, not too shabby. If it wasn't for that bear tying up those Stormcloaks for so long at the back of the board, then yeah, I think things would have been a lot more nasty. Testing out the scenario, the bear went down a lot quicker when it did finally show up. So yeah, there you go. You just never know what's going to happen when you're playing AI. We were able to get some treasure out of the deal. Got this Potion of Plentiful Healing. That's going to come in pretty handy, I think, in our next scenario as the Dragonborn and the Mage head through the mountains trying to get to High Hrothgar. There's going to be all kinds of creepy crawlies and nasty creatures hiding inside the mountain caves in our next mission, and I'm really excited to get some new and different units on the board. Let me know in the comments section which of our 2 adventurers here you think is our battle MVP, and they'll get a free treasure draw going into our next scenario. We have all kinds of creepy crawlies and new units ready to go for this next battle. Really excited to get some different units on the board. It's going to be a great one, so stay tuned for the next episode of Skyrim Sunday coming in just 1 month's time. The Dragonborn and the Spellsword are victorious after braving a battle, a blizzard, and a bear, but this is only the beginning of their trek up the 7,000 steps, and who knows what dark and mysterious dangers await them in the mountain pass. Don't forget to vote for the battle MVP in the comments down below, and the winning unit will get an extra buff going into the next battle. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm really excited to bring Skyrim Sundays back to the channel and looking forward to doing more Elder Scrolls Call to Arms coverage as we go further. So stay tuned, as in 1 month's time, we'll be back with a brand new episode in part 2 of the journey to High Hrothgar. So as always, stay tuned because WGNR will be back.